They always say hospitals never sleep, but let me tell you, that night, something else entirely woke up. The halls were way too quiet. You know that kind of silence? The kind that's so heavy it presses on your ears until you start hearing things you really wish you didn't. I was supposed to be the only nurse on the night shift for that entire wing. At least that's what the roster said. It was exactly 2:47 a.m. I remember looking at the clock right before it started. I was doing my rounds, just checking vitals, the usual routine, and that's when I heard it. Breathing. It was slow and steady, and it was right behind me. My heart just stopped. I spun around, expecting to see a patient who'd wandered out of their room, or maybe a colleague who'd come in unexpectedly. But there was nothing, just an empty, sterile corridor, stretching out under the flickering fluorescent lights. Suddenly, the familiar hum of the hospital machines, the ventilators, the heart monitors, it all just faded away. It was like someone had hit a mute button on the entire world, leaving only that one sound. The faint, chilling sound of air being pulled in and then slowly let out, and it felt like it was getting closer every single time I took a step. My own breathing was ragged. I could feel a cold sweat starting to form on my forehead. I found myself drifting towards room 13. I don't know why. It was like I was being pulled there. As I got closer, this strange smell hit me, a mix of old metallic rust and that sharp, clean scent of antiseptic. It was a smell that just didn't belong. Room 13 had been sealed off for months after a particularly difficult patient passed away. The administration said it was for a deep clean, but nobody ever went back in. As I stood there, frozen, the door to room 13 started to creak open, all on its own. The sound of the old hinges scraping in the dead quiet of the hallway was absolutely deafening. I peeked inside, my hand shaking so badly I could barely hold my flashlight steady. The room was dark, but I could make out the bed. It was perfectly made, sheets tucked in tight, just like it had been left. But there was something wrong. The sheets were dipped in the middle, forming a deep indentation, exactly like someone was lying there, invisible to the eye. My blood ran cold. Then the heart monitor on the bedside table, which I knew for a fact was unplugged and had been for months, let out a single, sharp beep. One solitary, piercing note that cut through the silence. And just as suddenly as it started, the breathing stopped. The air became still and heavy again. I took a stumbling step back, my heart hammering against my ribs so hard I thought it was going to break right through. My mind was screaming at me to run, to get out of there, and that's when I felt it. It came again, but this time it was right against my ear. A puff of air, warm, human, real. It was the most terrifying sensation I've ever experienced. I didn't even scream. I just ran, sprinted down that corridor faster than I ever thought I could, not looking back, just running for the light of the nurse's station. My ID badge was hitting my chest with every frantic step, a frantic rhythm against my pounding heart. The next day, my supervisor called me into the office. They'd reviewed the security footage from the night before. It's probably because I'd filed an incident report that sounded completely insane. On the video, you can see me, plain as day, standing alone in that hallway. You see me turn around, you see me freeze, you see me stare at room 13, and then you see me bolt. And here's the part that I can't explain, the part that still keeps me up at night. The camera's video showed I was alone, but the microphone, the sensitive audio equipment on that security system, it still caught it, it's clear as day, layered over the sound of my own panicked gasps. You could hear it, breathing, slow, steady, and right behind me. If you want to hear more chilling stories that will make you question what's real, make sure to hit that follow button. And do me a favor, subscribe to the channel before the lights go out. Thanks for listening.